Hi, this is RGK. Today I will talk about a neo-retro FPS that will be released on December 11th, Suffer. The game might not seem appealing after a quick look at the hallucinated screenshots or the trailers that seems to be made on acid, but I played it and I can say that the game is doing some things right and it's worth discussing it. Let's start with context. We play as some sort of punk anarchist ninja fighting a dystopian dictatorship. Don't count on the game to tell you more about its story, there is almost no narration, but I won't hold this against Suffer. This has never been an issue in old school shooters. What bothers me though are those copying Wolfenstein 3D with no verticality and levels that are only perpendicular corridors and rooms. Thankfully, Suffer is the exact opposite, with aerial levels and rooftop fights. There is also vertiginous platforming, but we are well equipped to face it with a dash forward and double jump to go higher or farther. The short levels are more linear and less open than in Doom, but there is still room to move around and explore. What's well done here are the enemy archetypes that we fight. There are riot cops instantly shooting at you with hit-scan guns, they need to be killed first. There are slow zombies that are dangerous in close proximity, be careful not to get too close while you're avoiding other threats. And there are flying eyes that fire rockets, forcing you to dodge while adding a layer of verticality. The different attacks of these enemies impact your own pacing, alternating between taking cover, dodging or rushing. So now let's talk about how you retaliate. First, there is your main weapon, a katana that can kill almost anything in one slice. Very efficient to rush a room and quickly dispatch the most dangerous threat. Then there are the usual pistol, machine gun and shotgun. Their use is very peculiar, you have to hold the right mouse button to use iron sights and then it allows you to use the left mouse button to shoot. Therefore, you are slowed down when you want to shoot, but it's not bad enough to break the pacing, just good incentive to think over your positioning. Except for the pistol, the weapons are quite powerful. They are meaty and satisfying to use when enemies quickly disappear in a mist of blood. The downside is that except for the rocket launcher, all weapons look the same and can be hard to tell which one you're holding. All I told you about gives a very solid foundation for a satisfying shooter, and holds up much better than many crappy retro shooters. Here each enemy comes with its own challenge, and their presence changes the way the player behaves and moves within the space of the game. Interesting space again, as there are platforms and verticality alternating with close combat, and the player has the right tools for each job. Another important ingredient for a good shooter is a great atmosphere to immerse us in its universe. Here we have low-res textures and a very worn look combined with scan lines. The dark color tones and the dirty walls covered in tags and posters, the saturated sounds, the punk metal soundtrack, all of this is overwhelming to the senses. It has a nightmarish vibe and I almost felt like I was on drugs just by playing this game. So Suffer has a unique atmosphere, if you're into this you will have a good time. However, not all is rosy in Anarchy's world, and there are a few flaws that can be more or less an issue for you. As I said at the start, enemy cops use hit-scan guns and they are way too fast to shoot the players. Often, right as you start glancing at a building's roof, you suddenly feel half your face coming off. I'm not against challenging enemies, especially here since they are well positioned and it's never impossible. Problem is, they are very hard to distinguish from the background and the damage indicator does not convey where they shot from. I was sometimes running around like crazy trying to avoid enemy fire, only to realize that I did not notice one pesky cop a few feet away from me. Lastly, the biggest issue with this game is that despite the very solid foundation, from one level to the next it starts to feel repetitive. It's almost always the same environments and the same enemies. I kept hoping to see something new until I eventually stopped playing because I was sick of always doing the same. Levels are short, but there are too many of them. To this day, I don't know yet the price of the game, so it's hard to say whether it's cheap enough to warrant impulse buying. Despite the graphics that let you expect another Steam horror, it's actually good, but in short bursts. I hope you enjoyed this video, bye!